You ever actually stop and think why we don't just get dropped in onto this earth for 15 clean years, easy years, and then called back home before anything can touch us, before anything can expose us, before anything can test us? Well, it's because this was never meant to be a vacation. It's a proving ground. It's a full blown character trial where you don't just convince other people who you are, you convince yourself, you convince heaven, you convince everything alive and everything watching what you're made of at the beginning, in the middle, and especially at the end, after life has had its way with you, after temptation has circled you, after pressure has squeezed you, after you've been given every opportunity to fold, fake it, or sell your soul for comfort. And the truth is, nobody wants to admit because everybody wants the short version of life. Without the accountability part, everybody wants the reward without the refinement, the crown without the cross, the peace without the pressure. But that's not how this works. Because who you are in comfort is irrelevant. It's almost a lie. It's a curated version of you with no resistance. But who you are when the boat starts rocking, when things stop going your way, when you're scared, when you're angry, when you're tempted, when doing the right thing costs you relationship status, money, sanity, that's the real you. That's the receipt. That's the evidence being recorded, and that's why we're here longer than we'd like. Not to indulge, not to sit in some padded existence, avoiding discomfort, but to be stretched, exposed, developed into something that can actually withstand truth. And here is where people get it twisted. They think life is about finding the nicest boat, the most comfortable setup, the most luxurious situation, stacking money, stacking pleasure, stacking validation, like somehow that's going to save them when the things go left. Like the leather seats are nice enough. Like if the leather seats are nice enough and the champagne is cold enough, the storm is going to pass them by. But storms don't care about your lifestyle. They don't care about your aesthetics. They don't care about how expensive your illusion is. They expose what's underneath it all. My father said it in the simplest, most dangerous way. When that water gets violent and that boat starts shaking, and everything in you is panicking, if Jesus is in that boat, you're not going under. You might get tossed around. You might get humbled. You might get stripped of everything fake you were holding on to. But you're not sinking, because truth doesn't sink. Alignment doesn't sink. God doesn't sink. But you put yourself on a different kind of ship, the Titanic type of life, the one built on lust, greed, ego, indulgence, the 7 sins dressed up as success, the one where everybody is flexing, everybody is drunk on themselves, everybody is convinced they've outsmarted consequence, outbuilt God, outmaneuvered reality, and all it takes is one iceberg. One moment where reality taps you on the shoulder and says, you're not in control. And suddenly, all that first class status means nothing. And all that money means nothing. And all that image means nothing. Because arrogance doesn't float. And sin doesn't suddenly grow a life raft just because you invested a lot into it. And the most dangerous part, the part people underestimate, is it only takes one voice around you, one idiot with confidence, no humility, one person bold enough to say something like, not even God is going to sink this. And if you stay in that environment, if you laugh with it, if you normalize it, if you sit there thinking you're immune just because you didn't say it out loud, you inherit that mindset, you absorb it, and when that ship goes down, and it will, you're not getting a special exit because you thought you were different. You go down with what you chose to stand next to. So no, this life was never about how pretty your boat looks. It was never about how comfortable you can make your existence. It was never about avoiding storms. It's about who you become in them. It's about what you're anchored to when everything shakes. It's about who you choose to sit next to, who you choose to follow, who you trusted when it actually mattered. Because you can be sitting in first class, dressed in everything the world told you to chase, and still be on a sinking ship headed straight into darkness, while somebody in a broken, shaking, uncomfortable boat, moldy and all, smelling like fish, with Jesus, though, in it, is going to make it all the way through. And at the end of all of this, nobody's asking what you owned. Nobody's asking how impressive your life looked. Nobody's asking how comfortable you stayed. The only thing that stands is who you proved yourself to be when it counted, and who was in the boat with you when everything started falling apart.